So we have large, medium, and I'm not going to say small because that's not the correct word. It's powerful and petite in one device. So let me introduce the HD4 MBX. This is our mobile expandable powerhouse. So this is a half-U format. There are 3 WAN ports. This one is LAN WAN switchable, 8-port switch built in, USB WAN inputs, and built-in Wi-Fi plus multiple LTE 4G options plus 5G options in the near future. So this is upgradable by replacing the modem module on the back. You could technically run this without this, using it as a core network branch router with WAN and LAN options and Wi-Fi, but we have multiple modules available now and in development for expansion needs. So you can buy a dual LTE 4G for failover and auxiliary expansion to your existing WAN today. You can upgrade to a quad module or even 5G. And this pushes 2.5 gigabits of throughput. So what is the minimum for 5G based on specification in terms of the deliverable download speed to the client? Does anybody know in the audience? If you do know, please type it into the chat. And remember, type it to all panelists and attendees. What is the minimum 5G experience or the promise of 5G that they can give you? The minimum, Marcus. So the minimum, does anybody know? That's right. That's right. It's 1 gigabits. So remember, if you're looking at an upgrade path or a deployment or a solution for your clients, and in your area, you have 5G or 5G will be available shortly. When I say shortly, I'm going to talk between today and the end of next year in terms of deployment. If that's going to be available shortly and your customer wants an option, but it's not ready yet, not fully cooked and ready, you can look at any of the X solution today, deploy it today, use multi 4G LTE to get you near 5G experience, which I talked about last time, and you can upgrade them to real 5G in the future. Now, everybody says the minimum base for 5G is 1 gigabit. If you're gonna look at a solution that will give you that minimum, you need to account for the overhead. So we recommend the X series to have enough base performance to support that promise. If you use any other solution with less than that, you may be really disappointed because you're not going to get that big jump of performance from 4G to 5G. So that's just something for you to remember and keep in mind when you're thinking about your customers' needs today and tomorrow. But we talked about how can we deliver near 5G experience last time. So how can we do it if today's modems are so slow? So one option is to use more modems. SpeedFusion allows you to combine and aggregate all the total bandwidth into a single virtual pipe. But what if you want more? So we do offer a Cat 18 series of 4G LTE Advanced Pro today. And let's take a quick look at it, and then I'm going to answer Angus's question. So Cat 18 4G LTE Advanced Pro offers up to 1.2 gigabits download and 150 megabits upload per modem. Now that's under ideal situation where you're technically sitting under the cell tower. So imagine yourself, you know, a few hundred meters or hundreds of meters away from that cell tower. What kind of performance will you get in the real world? But that's not all. The raw throughput is not the final number. Many of our partners in the chat right now, if you used it, I want you to verify, does 4x4 MIMO, that means 4 antennas per modem, does that give you a benefit versus 2x2 MIMO? And 4x4 allows you to aggregate up to 5 different carrier signals. So Marcus says yes. Does anybody else out there who have experienced 4x4 MIMO, 4G versus 2x2 MIMO? using the same SIM card, the same carrier, the same performance promise, do you get more performance with a 4x4 MIMO, or is it the same as a 2x2? So anybody besides Marcus? Yes. Okay, that's right. And we're going to talk about antennas next, Marcus. So the trick is, if you have a customer who needs a solution that can deliver really, really good 4G performance, and you want to get the most out of the radio spectrum in your area, 4x4 MIMO gives you a noticeable advantage. So it pays for itself by actually increasing the available bandwidth to you per unit time versus a 2x2. And we're not selling you the 1.2 gigabit speed. You know, that's like driving your Ferrari at top speed. But the average speed that you will get will be a lot higher than a 2x2 on average. And that's how we advise you to deliver near 5G experience today. You combine multiple Cat18 modems, 4x4 MIMO, you're gonna get really close to it in the real world. And Marcus is right, using antennas, which we'll talk about. So we have twin Cat18 solutions today. We have the HD4 MBX, which we just talked about. We have a version with 2 Cat18 modems. Our flex modules, which I just shown previously for the EBX and SDX. We have twin Cat18 modules with 4x4 MIMO. And yes, we do have this powerhouse, a quad modem 4x4 MIMO for a total of 16 LTE-A antennas to maximize all the bandwidth possible in the air. Now, Angus asked a question. What is the future model type of 5G, which probably Peplink would launch, and when is it? So this will not be on PCSS. I'm just going to answer a question because it's totally in line with the X family. We're going to launch the sub-6 modems very soon. If you're an existing partner or a new partner and you're working with 5G partners for validation, certification, and qualifying, today, we actually do have 5G modules available. Please send your account manager, your Peplink team member, or myself at sales@peplink.com an email, and we'll hook you up. Okay. Now, this is what you can do with an MBX. Because it's a half-U form factor, it's relatively small, you can actually drop it anywhere. And we've used it in mobile command centers. Using completely wireless solution out in the wild, we're able to deliver tremendous wireless broadband connectivity to critical infrastructure needs without wires. You don't need to buy anything or hook up anything or wait for anybody to pull a cable. Just pop in the SIM cards, turn it on, and aggregate all that bandwidth. The Max MBX also has a built-in 8-port PoE-AT enable switch, so you can power up devices. It does have ignition sensing, so if you're in a mobile situation, you can use it. And of course, you can use other out-of-band modem situation with a USB. Previously, when we were talking about the HD Dome series, we talked about the SIM injector. Yes, the X series, because of the multi-LTE and upcoming 5G modules, we do allow compatibility with the SIM injector for additional SIM cards. So you can rotate among many SIM cards for either security reasons or quality reasons or both. You can also use the MBX in mobile clinic situations. So given today's environment, this is probably one of the best available business opportunities right now. And I'm talking from experience. A lot of our partners have been working endlessly with their country's NHS system, for example, delivering emergency rapid deployable medical clinics all over the world. And the ideal device would be something like an MBX because it is completely wireless except for power. Actually, it is completely wireless. is near completely wireless. You plug it into a mobile vehicle, drive it to an area, you can immediately offer services with full broadband connectivity. In my case study right here, it says we're gonna set up a mobile clinic. We're gonna take X-ray images and we're gonna send it back in real time. Now, some of you can say, well, is that really feasible? Yes, it is. Has been done by our friends again from West Networks. They deployed hundreds of mobile clinics all across North America using our solutions. They do X-ray scans live, and we're talking about gigabit scans, gigabytes, that used to take hours to upload, or they won't even upload it. By the time they actually drive the truck back to the clinic, they can actually just pull the files off a server. But they're able to send gigabyte scans in minutes back to the medical headquarters for a qualified technician to begin studying the X-rays and pre-diagnosing the patients before the patient is ready to be sit down with the doctor at the mobile clinic to go over their assessment. That's incredible. So imagine if you can do that today. You're able to assist your country by offering much needed medical service to those in need without them having to go outside of their homes or leave their area. That's an opportunity that nobody should miss right now. You can also use our mobile selections with mobile broadband for broadcasting. And we talked about this in a previous webinar, but I just wanted to use this as an example to emphasize how you can use this. So this is a media company. They actually do sports broadcasting across the world for winter events. And they tested this in all countries, in cold weather, all across Europe, Americas, and etc. They use the HD4 MBX in the mobile command center. Now that provided for the team local broadband, internet connectivity. It can offer has a Wi-Fi that they can share out with all the participants. But the most important thing is that it's able to give them that super broadband access completely wireless wherever in the world due to multi-SIM compatibility that allow them to switch to the appropriate SIM. Another thing that you don't know, you might not notice obviously, is that it's low temperature tested. It is a super rugged and battle-proven device for your use now. And lastly, when we talk about video streaming, what about surveillance and eye in the sky type projects? Well, you can. Using HD4 and wireless routers from Peplink, you can deliver non-line of sight, so that's important to remember, non-line of sight broadband connectivity to mobile units wherever you are. So in this deployment, we had an American Sheriff Department. They had helicopters flying in areas doing surveillance for video. They had an on-the-ground team, so a mobile command center on the ground, going back and forth, and they had to relay that stream back to headquarters. So the way they did that solution, they used speed fusion bonding between 3 devices, one in a helicopter, one in the mobile command center, one at headquarters, completely secured VPN with broadband aggregation. And these are the actual devices. So this was done before we launched the MBX. But just to exemplify wireless connectivity, the broadband performance that you want today, and that it was deliverable. This was a twin IP67 device in the helicopter. They had a HD4 quad 4G LTE in the command center. Now this is a mobile command center. And they had a balanced 210 back at the headquarters to create that endpoint. So these are some of the possible configurations or possible scenarios that you can use our solutions for. And here's one really important factor right here. Look at that time delay between real time from the helicopter back to headquarters, less than 2 seconds in real time. You can completely manage your entire mobile operations from the headquarters to your ground team and remote teams using our products.